Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your March 2022 mid-month general reading. We are looking at the last 2 weeks of March. This reading is for the fire sign of Aries. Welcome, everyone. I hope, as always, that you're doing well. Thanks for taking the time to be here to watch these videos, for your likes, your shares, subscribing, all of that. It's all greatly appreciated. Thank you. So, Aries, this is for you for the last 2 weeks of March 2022. That's if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Aries. It's also relevant if you're cross-watching for an Aries. It is a general reading, so of course it's going to resonate a little differently for everyone. Watch all of your signs, sun, moon, rising, and Venus for any additional insight they may provide into what's going on in your life. And if you find that something does resonate with you and you'd like to perhaps take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else. You can click on the description link below, the little arrow, which will show you contact details. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to hear from you. I do offer a wide variety of readings in all areas of life, and I can usually respond the same day with more information. So message me if you're interested. I'd be happy to hear from you. Okay, Aries, let's see what the last 2 weeks of March look like for you. I am using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Legacy of the Divine. Okay, Aries, we begin with the Ten of Cups. Happy home, white picket fence, marriage, childbirth, family. You know, it's the happily ever after card, although not perfection, no such thing exists. But tens represent cycle end or cycle achievement, full circle. So the Ten of Cups, which is the Ten of Water, the Ten of Emotion, represents kind of feeling at that place where everything has come together again just beautifully. Especially where home, family, love, relationship, all of that is concerned. With the Ten of Cups, we have the Eight of Cups, leaving, walking away in search of the next card, which is the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment and getting everything that you want. So you have to turn your back on that which isn't working for you in order to do that. It's moving forward in order to achieve this Ten of Cups energy. Next, we have the Three of Coins, compromise, negotiation, teamwork, collaboration, trying to get everybody on the same page and agree with something that needs to be done, accomplished, or how that it happens. With the Sun, light, love, warmth, laughter, an alleviation of pressure. So this is like trying to compromise and negotiate and kind of collaborate on a way to bring the energy of the Sun into a situation which, it implies that it's been a difficult or challenging situation. The Sun represents kind of an uplifting and easing of previously heavy energies, kind of winter into spring, darkness into light, sickness into health kind of energy. So it's kind of working together to try and bring that about, which can sometimes be challenging too. Next, we have the Fool, starting off on a brand new path, a brand new journey, taking a risk, stepping off out of your comfort zone and into the unknown and trusting. With the Ace of Swords, epiphanies, realization, success that comes from everything being revealed and illuminated. It's almost like kind of a sense of having like this huge wake-up call or huge epiphany and going, okay, I'm gonna jump off the cliff, jump out of my comfort zone and do the thing I'm afraid of doing. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy and focus for the last 2 weeks of March is the Star, renewed and restored hope, faith, and optimism, which implies that it's been, again, a difficult, challenging time prior to this, because in the tarot, the Star comes after the Tower. The tarot cards, how they come out chronologically, represent a journey through life or through different aspects and stages of life. And, the Tower card happens at unexpected event, which often causes the breakdown or complete change of something. And then the Star comes in to kind of renew and restore hope, faith, and optimism after that. So there is some implication that something has been difficult or disruptive, or even for some of you outright painful or catastrophic. It's a general reading, so the intensity is going to vary. But overall, it's quite beautiful energy for the last half of March. It's like something you were struggling with or that had happened that was difficult, and something has happened which is giving you a renewed sense of hope and faith and optimism. But it does look like it requires, you taking kind of a step off out of your comfort zone, maybe a big step out of your comfort zone in order to affect that. But something has happened which has kind of given you a bit of an epiphany. Let's clarify the star. The Fool again. And the Ten of Cups again. Happy home. So obviously this is something which affects your home and family life, whatever that is. If you don't have one, this would be getting one. This is stepping off the beaten path to do something which there's every indication here that you have been afraid of doing, Aries, which I think we've talked about in readings past. It could be marriage for some of you. It could be taking that, especially if you've had some negative experiences in the past, you may be very afraid of that. But this is about stepping out of your comfort zone and doing the thing which you are afraid of doing, because it's going to bring in the energy of this Ten of Cups, this happy home, kind of pulling it all together sort of energy. Something has happened which is giving you a renewed, restored sense of hope and faith, or perhaps you're just gaining some faith in the situation based on some kind of insight or epiphany or sudden revealing of something. Like you've had a download, or God's kind of, funked you on the head or something. Let's clarify that Ten of Cups. The Lovers. Relationship choices. This is like a decision to get married or not get married, because the Lovers is, or could be moving in together, solidification of the relationship, because the Lovers represents typically a relationship choice, a relationship crossroads. You need to make a decision about the future and life of a relationship or lack thereof. The King of Wands, there you are, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. The Wheel of Fortune, divine timing, orchestration. It's like you've had some kind of major spiritual download, or God, spirit, angels, and guides have either orchestrated or allowed you to, probably through other people or situations, just often how they work. Something is all of a sudden made blindingly clear. Almost feels like sort of like the Scrooge, in A Christmas Carol. Not that I'm saying you're a Scrooge, but looking for comparable analogies here. He had that overnight, that experience that night, where he saw the ghosts of the Christmas past, present, future, and all that. And it showed him something about his life that gave him like this huge epiphanic thing that caused him to change the way he looked at how he was connecting with people and giving to people and sharing and loving and all of that kind of stuff. That's kind of what it feels like here. It's very dramatic. Let's clarify that Eight of Cups. Leaving, walking away to find your fulfillment, or moving onwards to find your fulfillment, rather than just simple pleasures, temporary pleasures. The Two of Cups, the soulmate card. You have the Two of Cups, you have the Lovers, you have the Ten of Cups twice. This is obviously relationship oriented. The Ten of Wands, being at the end of your rope, needing it to, this is like giving up and going, okay, I get it. This is what I'm supposed to do. So this is what I'm supposed to do. So then next we have the Three of Coins and the Sun. So then there's like, okay, how do I do this? How do we do this? How do we come together? How do we work this out? How do we iron out the details? Five of Wands, and here's where kind of the conflict or petty drama is. The Four of Wands, the other happy home, marriage cards. Could be celebrations around home and family. So there's a sense of having to, so there's this huge download. Okay, this is what I need to do. It's been made blindingly clear. So then when it comes down to kind of like working it out, it looks like there's some conflict here and some struggle in how that happens. For example, if it's two people who've been together for quite some time and they decide to get married, it's kind of like there's some conflict, maybe some arguing or trying to compromise and negotiate on, okay, are we going to join these things, or are you going to have that separate and I'm going to have this separate, or where are we going to do this? And, just like ironing out all the details of how it actually happens. There's conflict here. It's trying to just kind of agree on how this thing is supposed to happen. Feels like there's a bit of a challenge there. And it might be, the Four of Wands can represent celebratory events that you're preparing for around home and family, like preparing for a wedding or something to do with your home or something of that sort. It might be that logistics or, just trying to figure out how it's going to be done. If this is like preparing for a wedding or organizing some kind of family event or family reunion or something like that. Again, it's about the details, getting bogged in the details, and some conflict coming up over who does what and who shares what, or if you're still going to have separate lives or separate accounts or separate whatever, right? Trying to kind of come to a fair resolution there. I feel like there might be some still additional fears from past negative experiences kind of rearing their heads here and going, okay, let's get married, but this I want to be separate and you keep that separate and all of that kind of stuff. So trying to work that out. All right, let's clarify the Fool. The Fool and the Ace of Swords. Let's clarify the Fool. The Emperor. There you are. Aries energy. It's an interesting combination of cards because the Emperor is all about accountability, discipline, my way or no way. A kind of a domineering sort of personality type, but it's because he has a rather large job. But the energy of the Fool is not technically his energy. So the Emperor taking the risk of the Fool's energy is a big, big, big deal. Strength, facing fears, doubts, insecurities, struggling with your own insecurities and fears and doubts. The Five of Swords, ambition, winning at all costs. Let me clarify this Ace of Swords. The Tower. Justice. Wow. So this is divine timing and orchestration, direct intervention here, which I'm seeing with that Wheel of Fortune and the Star. Anyway, you have some profound major arcana cards. The Wheel of Fortune, the Star, Justice, and the Tower. Justice and the Tower is divine timing and orchestration. This is God, Spirit, angels, and guides intervening in a pretty dramatic way to bring about a resolution of something that will be just and permanent. And clarifying the Ace of Swords, this is the truth being revealed, everything being revealed, and everything being made right. It's like it feels, Aries, like there is a specific, clear, right path, a path of right and a path of wrong here. And that's really clear. And it feels like you now see that it is abundantly, that there is a clear right path. And I feel, even though this sounds a bit Armageddon-ish or judgmental-ish, it feels like if you don't choose the path of right, that Spirit will do it anyway. And like in readings past, I think with you, Aries, it may mean that you lose if you choose a different path. This is like doing the right thing at all costs, because if you don't, Spirit's going to come in and do it effectively for you, which may mean that you're on the outside of it. Also, I feel like at least some of you, because of this major download, epiphany, realization, are going to do the right thing, which you consider to be kind of scary and risky, because if you don't, you're going to lose the thing you want the most, which is whatever this Ten of Cups happy home is for you. Definitely relationships here. It's like, okay, if I don't do this thing, I'm going to lose this person and this this life and the potential even of a better life moving forward. And it's been made abundantly clear to me through some kind of epiphany, download, some kind of major thing that Spirit has either orchestrated or allowed to happen so that you can see this. Again, I'm getting this. It feels very, very dramatic. It feels like that, again, that experience and an epiphany that Scrooge has in A Christmas Carol that causes him to radically change his perspective about life and giving and connecting and all of that kind of stuff. That's what it feels like here. Yeah, wow. Okay, I think I'm just going to leave it there and ask for any final messages, guidance, or advice for Aries. I'm quite curious. I always welcome feedback, and people do write and say this is how this resonated and related to me, or related to my situation. But I'm quite interested to see how this relates to the people of you for whom this is going to be relevant. Final messages for Aries. The world. Yep, it's time to elevate. It's time to move upwards and onwards. The Fool, which you have twice here, is the very first major arcana card in the tarot. The Fool has the 0 on his card because that's where the whole tarot journey starts. It's starting off on a brand new journey, not exactly sure where you're going or how it's going to go. It's risky, right? It's stepping into the unknown. And then all of the cards after the Fool are about the Fool's journey through life, or specific sections of life that are really significant for his growth and evolution, or her growth and evolution, until we get to the last major arcana card, which is the World. Successful completion, graduation, you're moving up, and then a whole brand new journey starts, right? Different landscape, new options and opportunities. Graduation, leveling up, moving on, and that's what you're being called to do here, so that you can start again with the Fool on a brand new journey. The 7 of Cups, the card of idealism and dreaming, castles in the sky, fantasizing, looking only at the best and most beautiful potential and possibility that something has. It is not a very earthly card, meaning it's not grounded in reality, but it's grounded in looking at, it's like the ultimate optimism here. And it may be that you've struggled with that. It may be because of situations or experiences in the past, Aries, that you've been quite afraid of doing a certain thing or moving down a certain path or taking a certain decision, particularly where relationship, home, and family are concerned, because you're afraid of history repeating itself. And as long as, a person keeps the ideology of being cynical and jaded based on their past, they won't take risks to move forward to see if, sometimes things can work out in a really beautiful way. Not stupid risks, but justifiable ones here, because the 7 of Cups in terms of advice is to focus on also what the potential and beauty can be, especially if you have something to back that up with, rather than saying, no, I'm going to stay in my same thing because that's safest, because I don't want to get hurt again. Okay, fair enough. And free will, free agency, right? But Spirit here is saying it's time to move on from that. It's time to open yourself up. So I'm going to leave it right there. All right, Aries, those are your messages for the last 2 weeks of March. This was a pretty profound reading, actually. I hope it was helpful to you, clarifying, gave you some food for thought, or at least was entertaining. So, Aries, those are your messages. Again, if any of this resonates with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly. Maggie, the number 1 McGuire @gmail.com. You can also see that by clicking on the description link. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the April general readings. Stay well until then. Hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.